Well, welcome back to the studio. Today I'm working on a piece for my new gallery in Santa Fe, the Masterpiece Gallery. And I just want to show you my mixtures for the Adobe Wall and also the background. It's just a cool green. Since the gate is going to be red, I want that soft bluish green in the background to just give a nice contrast. When you place complementary colors next to each other, which are red and green, they make each other appear more vibrant. So that soft blue-green behind that red door is really going to make that red door pop. So here are my mixtures in the background, and they're all mixes of my phthalo blue plus cadmium orange plus white. Now the wall colors are all of these mixes here, and they are all made with my mud, which is 2 parts of ultramarine blue plus 1 part of alizarin crimson. I've added cadmium orange, I've added white, and just a tiny touch of my phthalo blue. And all of these mixtures are that combination in different proportions. This mixture has more mud, this mixture has more white. Then this is a mixture of ultramarine blue plus white. And I will use that to add coolness into the part of the wall that I want to reseed. So let's get to painting. So you can see I've already painted the greens in here behind. I'm going to have my Adobe Wall, and then wisteria is going to be draping over it. But I need to do my wall first before I do the wisteria. So I begin, the sunlight is coming, in fact I've even done a little sun symbol there. The sunlight is coming over this wall, and it's going to be focusing right here on this part of the garden. And there'll be a little bit of light hitting the floor and these flowers here. So this will have a little sunlight. The wisteria is going to be causing shadows, casting shadows here on the wall. And then this part of the top of the wall is going to be darker. And again, I make that back side of that a little bit cooler so that part of the wall recedes. There'll be wisteria draping over there. This is called a bright brush. It has a square end, and I really prefer these. Let me just come back here. And now I begin doing the lighter part of this wall. But you can see I can use that flat edge to make a good broad stroke, or I can use the corner of it to make a smaller stroke. And there's going to be some wisteria here that's casting a shadow down. And I can always go back after I paint the wisteria and add more shadows in there if I need to. But this just kind of gets that started in there. This is a little bit of lighter mixture. And then I'm going to have darker here underneath this wisteria back here. There's going to be sunflowers and geraniums in here, and so this gives a nice, and the light will be hitting them. So this gives a nice dark that those lighter petals will really glow against. Use a little bit smaller brush now to work in this other area here. Again, coming back with my light here. And I save my wall colors so that if I need to come back and repaint in any of these areas that I'll be able to. But the light's coming from this direction, so this part of the, again, that part of the wall, that upper ledge of the wall will be in shadow. And I make Just a little bit lighter in here. All little couple little lights come through the wisteria there. Helps add depth and interest. Now, what I'm going to do is I wash out my brush and my thinner, and then I clean it out real good. Make sure it's good and dry. I don't want any thinner in there. And I'm just going to drag over these shadows to make them softer. And you can see how that softens the edges. I have to be careful in here because I have a couple spots here where the paint didn't totally cover my canvas. I've got little white spots in there, so I need to go back and make sure those are covered. Okay, so we've got that. Let me do a little more light right here. Okay, now I'm going to soften that a little bit. A bit too bright, so again, wipe out my brush really well and just soften that. Now this is going to be old weathered wood, and then my gate will be the red. Now on this part of the wall that goes back, I want that to be cooler, so I use my blue back here because this part of the wall I want to go back behind the gate and just fall back there. Warm colors come forward, cool colors go back. So that's why I want this, my cooler, bluer color. And I add some of that into my Adobe color. And now I'm going to bring some of that blue over it. And this edge back here, I want to make it soft. So my paint of the background trees is still wet. And I can just soften this edge. So I need these to meet up. So that's, okay, those meet up. Okay, now I'm going to soften that edge. So again, softer edges go back. Hard edges or more distinct, sharp edges come forward. So we want that to be soft. I can just take a clean brush and drag over that, soften that edge, and then here too. Now I start working some of my Adobe color in here. And again, wisteria is just going to cascade down over all this area. This is going to be a little darker and cooler back into here. This really gets into shadow as it goes down. A little too blue, but I'm going to come back with some of my Adobe color and paint over that. This will be back behind the hollyhocks. So that gets pretty dark. But I still want it to be cool so that it just falls back behind all the foliage. Again, I need to soften that edge. Transition. Okay, now I'm going to get my bigger brush. I like to work with the largest brush that'll fit into a space. So it just gives me nice texture, and there's a window up here. Now the hollyhocks are going to pop up in front of that window. I get a little bit lighter as I come forward. The wall gets darker as we go back into the recess, really into the deep shadow back here. But then as we come forward, we get a little bit lighter. Again, I save my wall color because when I paint my hollyhocks, I'll need to work back and forth. this lighter Adobe color comes forward. And then I'm going to have wisteria in there, coming down over this window. If I didn't have that wisteria there, that window would just be a hard rectangular shape that would draw your eye. But with the hollyhock stalks coming up and then the wisteria draping down, the window will just drop back and won't be too prominent. If I just had the window there without anything draping over it, it would just draw all of the attention. And that's not where I want the attention to be. And this underneath part of the window is made with my darker mixture, that and the side. That's pretty much how I get the wall in there. It really goes pretty quickly. I'll have some refinements to do, but that's, I want to get a little bit lighter along the top edge here. And then this edge of the window sill will be just a little bit lighter. It catches light from above. There's no direct light hitting it, no direct sunlight, but it still gets a little lighter because the flat surface catches the sun, the reflections from the sky up above. So we get that in there. I really appreciate you watching my YouTube videos. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my blog. The link is in the description below. The address is also on the final frame of my video. So you have an absolutely wonderful day, and again, I really appreciate you visiting the studio. Get my tongue twisted there. So you take care.